A powerful and dangerous storm system is set to impact large portions of the United States today and tomorrow, bringing the potential for a significant severe weather outbreak. This system is expected to generate widespread damaging winds, very large hail, and several tornadoes, making it a major threat for millions of people across multiple states. At the same time, a separate but equally concerning ice storm will be affecting parts of the Midwest and the Northeast, creating hazardous travel conditions, potential power outages, and widespread disruptions. This is a multifaceted storm system with different areas experiencing different types of severe weather. And unfortunately, the threats don't stop there. Another round of severe weather is expected on Wednesday, with conditions appearing highly favorable for all modes of severe weather, including tornadoes. With so much happening over the next several days, it's crucial to break everything down in detail to ensure that everyone in the impacted areas is aware of what's coming and can take appropriate precautions. But before we get into the details, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support. Starting with today, the severe weather threat is already unfolding across a broad stretch of the country, with the risk zone extending from the Great Lakes all the way down to the Deep South. In these regions, damaging winds are expected to be the most widespread hazard, but large to very large hail and several tornadoes are also a serious concern. The most intense storms will likely begin developing around and just after lunchtime, and some of these storms will initially be discrete supercells. That's particularly concerning because discrete supercells have the highest potential to produce strong or even long-track tornado. However, as the afternoon progresses into the evening, the storm mode is expected to transition into a more organized line of thunderstorms, significantly increasing the risk of widespread damaging winds. One of the areas facing the most immediate danger today is the Ohio Valley and the lower Mississippi River Valley, where a significant line of storms is expected to develop later this afternoon. The severe weather outlook in this region is alarming, with a particularly dangerous corridor where the probability of damaging winds occurring within a 20-mile radius is as high as 45. This is an extremely high risk level and is right on the edge of being classified as a moderate severe weather threat for wind damage. If an official hatched area were added to the forecast, it would indicate an even greater level of concern. And given the conditions, that could still happen. With this in mind, it's absolutely critical that people in the affected areas stay updated, as this storm system has the potential to cause significant damage, knocking down trees and power lines, leading to power outages in several communities. On top of the wind threat, there's also the potential for large and destructive hail. The most intense hail-producing storms are expected to develop from northeast Texas up through western Indiana, particularly in the early to mid-afternoon hours. Some of these storms could generate hailstones as large as baseballs, which can cause extensive damage to vehicles, roofs, and even pose danger to people caught outside. This is likely to be a more localized threat, primarily between noon and 5 or 6 p.m., after which hail will become less extreme. However, more scattered instances of large hail, ranging from quarter size to potentially golf ball size, will continue as storms move eastward. While the overall hail threat has been somewhat reduced compared to earlier forecasts, it remains a concern in certain areas. When it comes to tornadoes, there is some disagreement among forecasters regarding exactly where the greatest risk lies. While the official outlook highlights a specific area, some experts believe that strong tornadoes could develop slightly outside of that zone, particularly in parts of southern Illinois and just south of St. Louis. The atmospheric conditions in these areas, combining strong wind shear, high instability, and abundant moisture, are highly favorable for tornado formation. This means that residents from southern Michigan all the way down to central Louisiana need to remain vigilant, as tornadoes could form anywhere within this broad region. Given the fast-moving nature of the storm system, it's crucial to have multiple ways to receive severe weather alerts and to have a tornado action plan in place. As we move into Monday, the severe weather risk will shift eastward with a new area of concern stretching from Virginia down to the Florida Panhandle. This region is now under an enhanced risk for severe weather, meaning that damaging winds, some large hail, and even a few tornadoes are possible. A marginal risk extends even further, reaching up into Vermont and covering a large portion of the eastern United States. In total, over 90 million people will be in the path of severe weather on Monday alone. And when combined with today's risk, that number jumps to over 100 million. The primary hazard on Monday will once again be damaging winds, particularly from North Carolina down through Florida. A well-developed line of thunderstorms will sweep through the region during the morning and early afternoon hours, bringing the potential for numerous reports of damaging wind gusts. The hail threat is not as significant, but some instances of large hail are still expected. especially in parts of Eastern Virginia and North Carolina. The tornado threat on Monday is somewhat more elevated compared to previous expectations, with a 10 risk zone now in place across portions of Virginia, the Carolinas, Georgia, Florida, and Alabama. While strong, long-track tornadoes are not currently forecasted for Monday. A few tornadoes are likely to develop along the leading edge of the storms, particularly in areas where wind shear is strongest. Just looking ahead to Tuesday and Wednesday, the concern grows even further. While Tuesday itself may offer a brief lull in severe weather, Wednesday is shaping up to be an extremely dangerous day. Current model guidance suggests that conditions could align for significant tornado outbreak, with all the necessary ingredients coming together: strong wind shear, high instability, and abundant moisture. If discrete supercells develop in the warm sector of this storm system, they could easily produce multiple tornadoes, some of which could be long-tracked and intense. While it's too early to know exactly how this event will unfold, the potential for a widespread outbreak of severe weather on Wednesday is increasing, and this is something that will need to be monitored very closely. In addition to the severe thunderstorms, another major hazard unfolding today is a powerful ice storm in the Midwest, particularly in Wisconsin and the upper peninsula of Michigan. Ice accumulations could reach up to an inch in some areas, which is more than enough to bring down trees and power lines, potentially leading to prolonged power outages that could last for a week or more. Unfortunately, over 100,000 people are already without power due to ice accumulation from the past 24 hours, and additional freezing rain today will only worsen the situation. By tomorrow, this ice storm will move into Canada, but not before leaving behind a trail of hazardous road conditions and widespread disruptions in parts of the northern U.S. And on the cold side of things, a crippling ice storm. The upper Great Lakes and parts of Canada are looking at a long-duration ice event with up to 3/4 of an inch of ice possible in some spots. Widespread power outages are likely. Now, let's fast forward to next week, because guess what? We're not done. Another big storm system is coming through, and this one could be even bigger than what we're dealing with right now. A new low-pressure system will develop on the lee side of Rockies in eastern Colorado, strengthening as it moves into the Midwest by Wednesday. By Tuesday, April 1st, severe weather ramps up again, with a slight risk from northwest Illinois, Iowa, northern Missouri, Nebraska, and Kansas. Then by Wednesday, the risk jumps, with an enhanced risk shifting closer to Chicago and the Davenport Quad Cities. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this gets upgraded to a moderate risk. There's even an outside chance we see a high risk, which, as you know, is extremely rare, but the potential is there. Then as we go into Thursday, another large slight risk extends from Pittsburgh to Texas, covering another massive area. And it doesn't stop there Friday. More severe weather Saturday, more severe weather Sunday. You guessed it, severe weather. We could be looking at a full week of storms, with some areas picking up 12 to 18 inches of rain, leading to significant flooding concerns. So if you're tired of this active pattern, here's some good news. By the second week of April, we should see a big ridge developing in the western U.S., bringing drier, more stable conditions. It won't last forever, but it'll give us a break from this relentless storm cycle. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next update. Stay safe out there.